What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the G Perspective. I am your host, George Michael Perez, aka GMike. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching the show, listening to the show. You know where you can find me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and even on YouTube. You can find the Zoom link there, GMike Media _ you know what it is. Today, I have a brand new special guest. Excited to have him on. He has a lot of enthusiasm and energy when it comes to sports. He is a big-time flag football player. He played baseball in high school, so he knows exactly what he's talking about most of the time. I want to welcome my dog, Ernie negraaababyyyy Diaz. Ernie, how you doing, bro?
What's up, my man? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad you came on the show. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. You know, a little bit, 30 minutes, an hour. Talk about these sports here.
Let's do it, brother. I'm with it. You know me.
Yeah, so just a little quick, just for the fans out there, I want to talk about how you played baseball in high school and now you're playing flag football and you're really being competitive in it. You're in some tournaments, you're winning some tournaments. Tell the people a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. So I came up playing baseball for most of my adolescent life. Like you said, I had the opportunity to play baseball in high school. I played my freshman and sophomore year, so we're talking about 2009, 2010 for South Miami Senior High. And shortly after that, I realized, honestly, brother, I look in the mirror, I realized I wasn't that good at it. So I had to go another way. I found flag football, started playing at a young age. I'd say like turkey bowls. We used to have turkey bowls all the time, just as our group of friends back in the day. But then when I turned 21, so about 6 or 7 years ago, I started taking it seriously. We started traveling, going to places like Vegas, Texas, hopefully California, Orlando, and it's been a blessing, man. I actually play with my boss, my CEO, and a couple of my work friends, and it's hard to find something in your late 20s to stay competitive when you don't go to school or don't play professionally. And flag football has given me that competitive edge. So I'm blessed to have it. Go Grown-Ups, that's our team name. We're traveling in December and hopefully more national and world championships coming up.
Bro, that's awesome to hear, man. And I see all over IG and Twitter that you
Yeah,
guys
man.
be winning a lot, bro. And that's freaking awesome, man. Playing
Let's
flag
go, man.
football, and especially in 2028 when flag football is gonna be in the Olympics, bro. You have a
Yes,
chance to
sir.
be out there, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I did we were doing the math a little bit before I got on here, and I think I'll be in my mid 30s. I'll be 34. So the sport is growing. It's huge. Uh, back then there was when we were kids there was Pop Warner and tackle football. Now kids don't do that no more. Most kids are playing flag at a young age. I see kids out there 16, 17 studs, bro. I'm talking the Frank Gore Juniors, Michael Irving's nephew. I played with him the other day at Red Zone,
Ooh,
which is a
fire.
local league here. So you see them all, bro, and it's competitive. It will be in the Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028. So they're making Olympic trials now. They have tournaments like in Israel and things like that coming up. So all gearing towards the first official flag football being in the Olympics in 2028 in LA. So it's exciting times for the sport. It's definitely the time to get into it.
Yeah, man. Hey, I hope you make it, man. That would be awesome to see someone that I know, someone that I used to party with, play ball with, flag with,
Yes,
go in the
sir.
Olympics. That'd be amazing, dude.
For
Honestly,
everyone
good.
watching the podcast, this guy right here, Tamiami Courts, he owned it. Don't let him be humble about it. He owned
Nah,
the
nah,
courts
nah.
back
He
in the
lying.
day.
He lying.
No, I'm not. Don't play with him.
Well, folks, he knows a lot about sports. Obviously he's played in the sports, and football is his main thing right now. And right now, his favorite team, well, it's been his favorite team since I've probably known him, is the Baltimore Ravens. And the
Absolutely.
Ravens are doing great things this season. They have the
Absolutely, brother.
second best record in the AFC. They have the first best record in the AFC North.
Talk to him.
Bro,
Keep
let
going.
them
Keep going. Don't stop now. You're on a roll. Don't stop now. Keep going.
let these fans know what you think the Ravens are about to do this season when it comes to the postseason.
Oh man. So the best part about this Ravens team this year, two things. One is the adversity they've had to go through. So starting the year with all those impact players on the on IR, starting the year with the overtime loss, against the Raiders. And, the narrative about Lamar Jackson not being able to come back and win reared its ugly head again after the first week of the season. But since then, they're 3-0 in comeback wins, trailing by more than 10 points. Never been done before in Lamar's career. The defense is a little banged up, but as long as we got number 8 under center, I like our chances against anybody in the playoffs. He won a playoff game last year. He has that monkey off his back. He beat the Chiefs and has come back this year. So I'm excited to see what the Ravens are going to do in the playoffs. Absolutely. And as a diehard Ravens fan, go Flock.
Yeah, man. And it was crazy how in the beginning of the season, you got Gus Edwards. He was out for the season before the season even started. You had, I think it was Marlon Humphreys who got injured, and then he came back. Marcus Peters. That's right, because he's not even there yet.
The play after, so Gus Edwards tear his ACL in practice. The drill right after, Marcus Peters tears his ACL. So it was in the span of like 5 seconds that they both tore their ACLs. And then before even that, in the preseason game before against Washington, J.K. Dobbins tears his ACL. So in the span of 2 weeks, you lose 3 impact players. So it was tough, man. It was insane. It was heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought someone had voodoo on you guys. Someone was doing some type of santeria on you guys because, bro, it was just happening back to back to back.
Let me tell you, bro, I shed a tear. I'll never forget. It's one of those things like, well, they asked me, where were you when this happened? I'll never forget where I was when I read the Ian Rappaport tweet about Marcus Peters and Gus Edwards going down in the span of 10 seconds. It hurt. And the injury bug is still biting us. Just last game, we lost Deshaun Elliott. Poor dude, bro. He's been in the league 4 years. He's on a rookie deal. In his 4th season in the NFL, 3 of them have ended early with season-ending surgery. So it's tough, man. That's our leader on the back end. Our defense is predicated on playing man. We lost our starting corner. We lost our starting safety. The next man up mantra is beautiful. It sounds real nice. It's a good cliche, but you eventually start running out of next men, and you realize that guys are backups for a reason. But like I said, number 8 under center, I like our chances against anybody.
Yeah, man. I love the way that you talk about the team because obviously you have a lot of knowledge for them. Yeah. And I want to get your outtake on Marquis Brown because last year he wasn't really doing anything, and this year, it looks like he's on a roll. This guy's on a tear. He's just tearing up any secondary that gets in his way.
Listen, man, what I love most about Hollywood's trajectory this year, I'm sure he got tired of the narrative of, I think he was like top 5 in the league last year as far as drop passes went, which obviously when your number 1 receiver is 5'9", 180 pounds, and he's dropping passes, you're going to get critiqued. But my favorite part about his game and his development in the offense is they're almost using him like a Tyreek Hill type. They're not only throwing him post or goes. You see him getting a lot of bubble screens, a lot of let's get him the ball, let's let him work, let's see what he can do. He had a 3rd and 15 conversion on a bubble screen last game. He had a couple of curl routes that he pivoted the other way and took it up for extra yards. His game is developing, and it's good to see, man. It's refreshing to see.
Yeah. They need to use him a lot more because he's Lamar Jackson's favorite weapon, and he needs to be scoring touchdowns every single game.
Absolutely. You can tell it's in my fantasy lineup. I got both of them. So if Lamar starts throwing him touchdowns, I like my chances in that too.
Yeah. So this week, Baltimore plays Miami Dolphins at Miami on Thursday. I see the Ravens taking that. I don't think Miami's gonna upset anybody. I don't think they're gonna win any parlay this week.
I have a saying about the Ravens coming to town. I call it the Miami Massacre. Because every time last time I was there was Hollywood's breakout game. I think he had like 2 touchdowns. The game was like 59-10. I got belligerent by like the second half.
Love it.
I couldn't even stay past the 4th quarter because like it was so hot. I was sweating in like a Ray Lewis jersey. It must have been 145 degrees outside.
Oh, that's right. You were screaming at the top of your lungs. I saw a little video on you just screaming at everybody.
If you've ever seen Gladiator, as soon as the game went like 49-10, I jumped up. Are you not entertained? And I let everybody know because I was right in the middle of the Dolphins section.
I love it.
Are you not entertained? You're watching a real football team. Reports are Tua's not even going to play. They got Jacoby Smoke Brisket at quarterback. I like the Ravens. I don't know if we're doing predictions, but if we are, I like the Ravens 34-7.
Yeah, I like
Book
that.
it.
I think
Book
34-0,
it.
but okay.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you Dolphins fans out there. I know we're a Miami podcast, but
Hey,
bro, the Fins they're just not doing it for me this year, man. They're just not doing it.
man, it's and I don't even want to get on the Tua hate. I think he's received enough hate. I think it has more to do with the coaching. I think Coach Flo has lost the locker room. But you can have Coach Flo, Coach No, Coach Bo, Ravens by 40. It don't matter.
I
It don't
love
matter.
it. I love it. Now sticking with football, you know, this week, the Cleveland Browns dropped one of their best receivers in my opinion, but other people have different opinions about it.
Right.
Odell Beckham Jr. They released him this past weekend, and now he has just cleared waivers. No team has picked him up, and now he's a free agent.
Yep.
He says his top 3 teams are the Green Bay Packers,
Okay.
New Orleans Saints,
Okay.
and the Kansas City Chiefs. How do you feel about that?
Okay, so first of all, let me clear the narrative here because I see a lot of people talking on social media and things saying that Odell sucks. Odell went unclaimed because he's no longer that guy. First and foremost, real quick to note, the buyout agreement, the Browns are not paying the remaining $8 million of his contract this year. So whatever team that picks him up on a rental is going to have to pay for the $8 million salary. So they won't be able to cover that. So I think that's why he went on waivers. That's not, Odell doesn't suck, ladies and gentlemen. Odell's still a great football player.
I agree.
Now, as far as the fits, let's see. In my order, from those 3 that you gave me, the 3 that make the most sense. Number 1, and I went back and forth with number 1 because I think either of these, you can put them 1A, 1B. But number 1, I would put the Kansas City Chiefs as a destination for Odell. Why? When you think of Kansas City, you think of targets, you think of offense, you think of, globetrotter of the NFL. And let me tell you, bro, it's been more exciting to watch paint dry than to watch the Kansas City offense this year. It's been abysmal. It's been bad. It's been terrible.
Yeah.
Outside of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, they have nothing. They've tried Pringle. They've tried Robinson to be their Sammy Watkins, who's now in Baltimore. Thank you. But they've tried to find that third receiver. They picked up Josh Gordon off the street, probably gave him a joint, told him, smoke this, see if you can ball. Hasn't happened yet. So I think Odell with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek, I think that's a dangerous, dangerous combination that the NFL does not want to see. At 2, I would obviously put the Green Bay Packers. Now that Tanyan goes down with the ACL, Valdez-Scantling hasn't been playing a lot. Randall Cobb is nice, but he's also almost 40. I think Odell in Green Bay makes a lot of sense. I just don't see Odell residing well in the state of Wisconsin. If he didn't like Ohio, I don't know how the hell he's going to like Wisconsin. But hey, maybe winning means more than that to Odell, which, I don't think so. But definitely, if you want to ring a ring, that's your 2 places. And then third, New Orleans. New Orleans is the popular pick. Why? It's the biggest city out of the 3. Odell needs the lights. It is what it is. It's his hometown. He's from New Orleans. So it makes sense in that aspect. The city is going to embrace him as his own. But the fact that they don't have a quarterback, I'm not sold on Trevor Siemian. I'm not sold on what's this other guy's name? I'm drawing a blank right now. Their gadget guy. What's his name? Jesus Christ. I'm completely forgetting, but I'm not sold on their quarterback situation. It'll come to me eventually. I'm not sold on their quarterback situation right now, so it doesn't make much sense as far as winning goes. But hometown team, big city, I see it happening. But again, if I were Odell, I would go Kansas City, Green Bay, and then possibly New Orleans at 3.
Yeah, so the quarterback you were talking about, Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill, thank you.
Yeah. So they use him as basically a running back / tight end / receiver / any type on the field that you want. Yeah. I disagree with the fact that number 1, he should go to Kansas City. I think it should be Green Bay, but I know you said 1A, 1B. The only reason I like Green Bay more is because obviously Aaron Rodgers back there, man. Mahomes is great. Don't get me wrong. Mahomes is great, but Aaron Rodgers, like Stephen A. Smith says, is a bad man. That guy
Yes, sir.
is disgusting, bro. He just knows where to put it in these receivers' hands. Devontae Adams averages about like 10 targets a game and probably
Yep.
9 catches a game. So imagine without Odell out there on the other side of the field, and you got Devontae Adams and you got Aaron Jones in the backfield.
Yep.
I don't know, bro. I don't see no defense stopping Green Bay from going to the Super Bowl. But if Odell, like you said, he wants to go to his hometown, New Orleans,
Yeah.
and he'll be the number one receiver there. So that's why
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's why he's leaning towards that, and also is his
Absolutely.
hometown. And I feel like New Orleans would be the team to pay him that money for the rest of the year. So
Yeah, they can definitely pay him. Obviously he went to LSU. Michael Thomas announced last week he wasn't coming back this year, so they don't have a clear-cut number one. So if you're looking to get touches, New Orleans is definitely the place to go. And Odell does have a track record of being a diva, which again, I don't think any star wide receiver has ever not been a diva. I think it's a very diva position.
yeah.
And I love Odell's tenacity. I think that, he shows that because he cares. It's important to him. So I definitely want to see him succeed. As a Raven fan, I threw up watching him in that god awful Browns uniform. So I'm happy for Odell. I hope he lands somewhere. I hope he lands on his feet. And I think, contrary to prior belief, I think Odell has a lot left in the tank. And I think that with Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes, especially throwing the ball downfield with Aaron Rodgers, there's no shot he wouldn't take except a COVID vaccination. So I think that for sure either Green Bay or Kansas City give Odell the best chances to win.
I love that pun right there. Great use
I
of that
had to.
pun.
I had to, bro. I had to. Had to. I brought it back full circle.
Yeah. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, he remains as a free agent as we do this podcast. He says in a couple of days he'll have his final decision and he'll let everyone know, obviously, and then we'll see where he ends up. So sticking with football, yesterday, Dalvin Cook, no, it was either this morning or last night, but it was in the matter of a few hours.
Right.
Dalvin Cook's ex-girlfriend filed for a domestic abuse against Dalvin Cook. And what is mind-boggling about this situation is that before she came out to say it, Dalvin Cook got in front of it and filed an extortion lawsuit against her because apparently she's been trying to do this so many times against him, trying to get millions of dollars. But I don't know where I lie on this. I wanted just to talk about it more with you. How do you feel about the situation?
I mean, nowadays you never want a victim shame. So you never want to say that it didn't happen. You never want to come to you never want to attack the victim and say that, oh, you're trying to extort money because your boyfriend or your significant other is famous or is an athlete. So I definitely think that due process is important. I think that an investigation has to occur. I can respect, as far as Dalvin Cook's camp goes, I do respect him getting out in front of it before it came out. I do know that I saw not too long ago I believe it was SportsCenter, I saw a piece, and I know Adam Schefter broke the news. And when Dalvin Cook's camp got in front of it, they almost accused Adam of not giving the full story. So Adam Schefter went out of his way today to say that when he made the initial report, it was wrong of him to not get Dalvin Cook's side of things. So I think there's a lot left to be said. I think there's a lot that we don't know. Obviously, as it looked, it's not a good situation for Dalvin. Being that it's only a civil matter, the NFL hasn't taken action yet, so I don't see him missing games for the foreseeable future. If anyone were to take action against him, it would have to be the Vikings. The NFL won't get involved on a civil matter, if I'm not mistaken. But I do respect him getting out in front of it. There are reports that a settlement has been tried to reach a few times, but it hasn't yet, which obviously leads people to believe that this is nothing more than a money grab. I just don't think there's enough information. I think that you need to have due process, because a lot of time victims don't speak out because they feel that no one will believe them. So I believe, due process is important, just like with the Deshaun Watson thing. I think everyone deserves their day in court if it comes to that. But I would say hold your prejudice, hold your remarks until we know more about the situation.
Yeah, for sure. They need to go full investigation on this because
100%.
they can't
Can't
just
take it lightly. No.
no, they can't. They need to get down to the detail, make sure they know exactly what they have, make sure that they
Yep.
have all the evidence for it. They need to look at both sides of the story. But let's say it did happen. I like in this day and age with all of this domestic violence going on, it
Yep.
wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, it
At
wouldn't
all.
surprise me that he
At
did
all.
do it because a lot of these football players they do it head to head collisions, and there's
Yep.
not a lot of evidence on concussions nowadays or brain damage that
Mhm.
what football does. Obviously, we have more than there was 10 years ago,
Right.
but there's not a lot of scientific deep
Data
detail
per
in
se.
yeah.
You're right.
Thank you. Deep data into it. So I think they need to look at that as well because a lot of these men are getting these head-to-head collisions, like I said, and it's affecting their brain. They could go home and just start throwing tantrums, and they don't
Yep.
even know what's going on. They could just literally black out, and they're just doing crazy stuff at home, which we don't see. Obviously, is behind closed doors, and we need to save the players, and then we need to save the people around the players because obviously they're getting hurt.
Yeah. And a lot of times, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with your statement, but also a lot of times it's almost the athlete complex, that the fact that athletes feel that they're above reproach, they're above the law. I'm
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook. Like, what are you gonna? You're gonna say that I hate you? You're gonna say that I beat you? Who's gonna believe you? So, I think there's a lot of sides to this story. It's never good. You never want to have this, because whenever this comes into a team's locker room, and now becomes your peers and your teammates having to answer about you and your domestic issues, rather than the fact that you guys have lost 4 games by less than 5 points, which is heartbreaking if you're a Vikings fan. Um, and it just takes away from what you're trying to do at the end of the year, which is obviously hold that Lombardi Trophy high. So, we'll see what happens with Dalvin Cook. We'll see what happens with the allegations. I don't foresee the Vikings doing anything unless they have to. I mean, it's their best player, for God's sakes. If this was a lineman or a third string wide receiver, would he still be on the team? Would he have been suspended? We don't know. Star athletes do get certain treatment. It is what it is.
Yep.
But I do feel that the process is needed. And once we have more information, we'll be able to either exonerate him or crucify him. We'll see what's up.
Yeah, and if you guys think that star athletes do not get special treatment, right now today, Aaron Rodgers was only fined 14,000 and some change for lying
Bro,
about the COVID vaccine, while CD Lamb was fined $20,000 for an untucked shirt incident during the game.
not
So
even
if
that. The Ravens last year were penalized. They lost like I think it was a 5th-round pick for having a COVID outbreak. Mind you, this was before vaccinations, just because they didn't, follow protocols to a T. They lost their draft picks, and then you have a guy, not only a guy who chose and willingly lied about being vaccinated, you had a team comply with him by letting him do the maskless interviews, letting him go stand on the sidelines without a mask, letting him interact with players after. You willingly knew that he did all this, and yet you're gonna slap a multi-billion-dollar franchise with a $300,000 fine. Like, come on, bro. Those guys wiped their butt with that money. Like, that's nothing. No
yeah,
loss of draft picks, no suspensions, no heavy fines. The NFL, they dropped the ball on this one. We'll see what happens when the other guy gets COVID, because it's a numbers game. Someone's bound to miss some significant time with COVID. But in my honest opinion, brother, if the Packers missed that 1 seed by a game because Aaron Rodgers decided to be selfish, and they had Jordan Love go up there and be absolutely pathetic, and they lose that 1 seed because they lost the game 13-7, then you know what? They deserve it.
yeah,
Straight up.
yeah. So we will see in the upcoming days what happens with Dalvin Cook and the whole
Yep.
domestic violence abuse, and hopefully, they come down to it. They make either they find out that he did it and he gets punished, or they find out that she's lying and something other happens. But
Yep.
like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he did it.
One way or the other, we got to find out. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So jumping into basketball, Ernie and I are big time Miami Heat fans. You know what it is. He
La
Nation, baby.
Fostra Nostra, baby. La Fostra Nostra.
So on Monday night, Miami Heat visited the Denver Nuggets, right? And that late game situation, Marquise Morris goes up to Nikolai Jokic to try to do a defensive play, but he hit him with an elbow. It was a bad, harsh elbow. I'm not going to lie. Hit him with an elbow, and while Marquise Morris was just running away like if nothing happened, Nikolai Jokic comes behind him, throws a shoulder right into the middle of his upper back, and Marquise Morris falls to the ground. He has tremendo whiplash from his neck down to his, probably to his lower back. And then the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets, they have a scuffle and the whole thing goes on. So what they did to Nikolai Jokic, they suspended him 1 game and they fined Marquise Morris $50,000 and Jimmy Butler $30,000 because of the whole altercation that he tried to have with Jokic. Yeah. How do you feel about the situation, what went down on Monday night?
All right, so obviously I'm gonna remove my, my Heat lover hat. I'm gonna remove the bias. I'm gonna try to be unbiased here for a second.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk as an athlete myself. And I'm
an analyst. That's what you are, an analyst.
Yeah, analyst. There you go, an analyst. I'm gonna try to put myself in that perspective. Yeah. So first and foremost, the game is out of hand at that point when that foul occurs. So I understand the frustration on the Morris' side. The Morris brothers have never been ones to back down. You put a guy like that in Heat culture, it's perfect. It's meant to be. So the play in question, obviously, Jokic gets the rebound. It's coming up the floor. Mark just goes up and hits him right in the face. Now, hard foul, yes. It's basketball. It happens. I think after the game, they spoke about the foul happened to stop the play, get some bench guys in the game. But the foul occurs. First mistake that was made, I don't have a problem with the initial foul. I see a lot of people talking about, the foul was dirty. The foul wasn't a basketball move. It's 2 grown men. One of them is 6'9", the other one's like 7 feet tall. It's no big deal. A nice hard foul in today's NBA. I'm surprised they didn't get thrown out for it because you get thrown out for much less. But a good hard foul. And this is what happened with Morris. This is the mistake he made. You cannot hit a man like that and then turn your back and expect everything to be okay.
100%.
Nikolai Jokic, he's heard his entire career. There's this notion that European players are soft. It's where Luka, Paul Gasol, Marc Gasol, Ricky Rubio, they've all been considered soft basketball players. It's the European style. It's a soft league. I think Nikolai is getting tired of hearing that, and I think he gets tired of being pushed around. He's the reigning MVP. Like, you put some respect on my name, he feels. Yeah. You guys are getting your doors blown off. I mean, the game, and I don't even know what the final score was, but it wasn't as close as the score indicated. Like, the team got destroyed. If you're going to foul someone like that, don't turn your back on a guy that's probably bigger than you. I love the Heat reaction. I love Jimmy Butler's reaction. I love Tyler Hero stepping up to him for a second and realizing, oh shit, this guy's 7 feet tall. Let me make a business decision.
Back up.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think you can snarl at Jokic like you could at LeBron,
Yeah.
So how do I feel about, as a Heat fan? Obviously, I love the camaraderie. Hopefully this is a launching pad going forward. But as a basketball fan, as an old school, sports guy, I guess you can say old school minded, I didn't have a problem with it. If you're gonna suspend Jokic, I'm a big believer Morris should have got us suspended as well for initiating the action. I hate the fact that the second guy always gets caught. But as a Heat lifer, I'm not mad at the outcome. I like how the team rallied, but I think it was nothing more than the competitive aspect at the game. Tempers flared. But hey, November 29th should be fun.
Yeah. November 29th, like he said, the Denver Nuggets are going to the Miami Heat Arena, the FTX Arena. They will
play.
The
Jokic brothers bought tickets.
Yeah, that's what I was about to mention next. The Jokic brother bought tickets to the game. Bro, I love how they're backing him up through Twitter. I love how they're showing up to the game for him. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Heat lifer, a fucking Heat Nation. But honestly, just like my brothers, I hope they would have my back. I would have their backs. You know what I'm saying? So I like that aspect of what they're doing and how they're trying Marquis Morris's twin brother, how he wrote a little tweet saying something
Yeah,
about Jokic, saying that he's gonna see him basically when
yeah.
LA Clippers play against Denver. So and they're back. Jokic brothers were backing him up. So I like that. I like they back him up. That's what's up. Obviously, I want the Heat to destroy them when come November 29th.
100%.
They better win by 25, not letting down, never give them a lead during the
Yeah.
game. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, bro. I mean, I have some numbers here of the game, and I think if I'm not mistaken, every single starting five member for the Denver Nuggets scored in double figures.
Sheesh.
Like,
Yeah, they
yeah,
had a good game
it's
against us, man.
bro. Barden and Jokic both dropped 25. Jeff Green dropped like 13. Like the other two dropped 10. Like they got embarrassed. So I definitely expect a more competitive game down at. I'm never gonna get used to saying this. Down at the FTX Arena.
Right? So
Uh,
like brand new. It's crazy just
Bro,
saying
you know
that.
what? For the sake of this podcast, we're gonna keep it the G. This is called the G Perspective, so let's keep it G. It's American Airlines Arena on
Yeah,
November
the Triple
29th.
A, man. Damn.
The
They
AAA,
take
we
that
out
out.
there. Absolutely, take the thing out, man. I get it. Crypto's the future. That's the AAA. Don't play with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, but when it comes to the whole situation, I feel like Marquis Morris did a hard foul on him. You
Yep,
see that he put an elbow right into his ribs,
100%. I don't think
and
he'll
this,
deny it either.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think he'll deny it. And this day and age in this NBA today, like that's a flagrant one, maybe even flagrant two if the
yeah,
rest is being a little soft like they always are.
absolutely.
He should have got suspended, like you said. Jokic obviously should have got suspended, and then I don't even know why Jimmy Butler got fined. He was just talking, saying a little words here and there. He was backing up his teammate, his brother. Like, come on, man! Like, you really gonna fine him for that? But
It is what it is,
30,000,
bro. You know how it is.
that's nothing for Jimmy, so he's not gonna be worried about that one
He
bit.
good. He good with that. That's like a game check. He good.
Yeah, yeah. So right now our record is 7-3, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
We're still at the top of the East right now.
Yep.
Brooklyn played Orlando Magic today, but they're not. I don't even think they're in the playoff race. So and they're the favorites to come out the East. That's why I mentioned them. And then Milwaukee is on a downward spiral too.
Yeah.
I like Chicago. Chicago coming out, but I see Miami, best team right now, best record in the East. Like I said, the Heat are going to the finals, baby.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen. As long as Kyrie Irving decides that he wants to stay woke and not get vaccinated, I think that takes Brooklyn out of title contention. They're definitely going to be a force in the East. But if you don't have Kyrie, I don't think you win the title. That's just the way I feel about it.
Yeah.
Milwaukee is definitely going. Their defense isn't playing up to par. Giannis is going to put up Giannis numbers. No one's worried about that. I like the addition of Grayson Allen coming off the bench. I mean, I can't stand the guy, but I think he brings a lot off the bench. They still have Drew Holiday. They still have Chris Middleton. They'll be better as the year goes on, but they're definitely not out to the start that they envisioned for themselves. The Boston Celtics are the Boston Celtics, and if Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum don't figure out how to pass the ball, I don't think that's a recipe for success. The Hornets are exciting, but they're also young.
Yeah.
So when you look at the East is pretty wide open. I think Chicago is fraudulent. I don't think they're as good as the record indicates. But in the words of Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are. So I have to give them credit for the start that they've gotten off to. But I think when you break it down, player by player roster, the Heat are one of the few teams in the top 10 in both offense and defensive efficiency. Tyler Hero is the leading sixth man off the bench. Jimmy Butler's top 3 in MVP voting. I know we're 10 games into the season, but I think on paper, the Miami Heat are the best team in the East. And if you're not careful, they're top 5 best teams in, you know what? No, they're the best team in the NBA right now. They're the best team in the NBA. Golden
Yeah.
State is another fraudulent team with their record. Klay
And the teams
Thompson
they
hasn't
played.
played. Yeah, the competition they played hasn't been, the best. I'm aware that James Wiseman and Klay Thompson have yet to play. But if you're betting all your money on Klay Thompson, who hasn't played basketball in 2 years, and a 20-year-old in Wiseman coming off his second year, I think you're mistaken. Do they have to be respected? Of course. They have one of the best point guards of all time on their team. But as far as the whole NBA goes, not only the East, the Heat are definitely top 3 teams right now, if not first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree, my dog. Well, thank you, Ernie. Thank you for giving me your time, man. I
Always,
appreciate
brother.
you. I'll give you your flowers when it comes to the flag football tournaments. Keep getting those dubs. I hope you
Appreciate you, brother.
go to the Olympics in 2028 in LA. If you do, I'm out there. I'm going to LA,
Ha.
go to the Olympics, and
Appreciate
I'm
that,
going to
man.
watch that for sure. Before you get out of here, let these people know where they could find you, where they could see. I know you write tweets, a lot of tweets about sports and
Yeah.
stuff, so people could follow you and check you out.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like you said at the beginning of the show, my Twitter and my Instagram handle is negraaababyyyy. That's negative three A's, baby, three Y's at the end. You can follow me. Please be warned, I do have outlandish opinions and I will speak my mind and let you know how I feel.
Love
Don't
it.
be insulted by what I say. I just speak with conviction. And my man, let me tell you, I told you a little bit off camera, but I want to tell you now that we're here. I love what you're doing. I love that you're pursuing what you want to do. The podcast is phenomenal. The G Perspective is a fucking great name. If I ever heard one, your setup is great, brother. I wish nothing but the best. And hopefully sometime in the future, you'll have me on again, bro. It's been fun.
Yeah, man. Hey, you could come on whenever you want, and I appreciate your words, man. For everyone else, you know where you can find me: Twitter, George Mike Perez,
Get at
IG,
him.
GMike Media _, YouTube, GMike Media _, and for the podcast, it's available on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you get your podcast. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Ernie, thank you again, brother. You can always come on the podcast. You already know, man.
You'll see me soon, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, man.